Isolated showers with overnight lows of 6 to 11 degrees. Now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the ball.
Thanks to Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a dedicated call centre.
This is News Talk.
So there's lots of exciting things happening on the show this evening. Me and Richie are here. Hello, Richie.
Hey, Joe.
We'll have Matt Williams and Keith Wood on Wednesday Night Rugby. Very exciting. We'll have Eddie Brennan, new Laois hurling manager, 8-time All-Ireland winner with Kilkenny on the show as well. Very exciting. Dan McDonnell excitedly reflects on a bizarre week covering the Irish football team. But most excitedly, everyone, Nathan Murphy's here.
Wow.
What an entrance.
It's great to be here.
It's fantastic to see you.
Pleasure and an honour.
Fantastic to have you.
It's just surreal and wonderful to have you on the show, Nathan. It's a treat for us all. 53106, text in the nicest things you have to say about Nathan Murphy, or not.
I feel like there's a bus coming.
No. We're happy to have you. Add Off the Ball on Twitter. Big day, of course, Nathan. Junior cert results were out. Woo! That's the big one.
Oh, God.
So
do a hurdle
310
going out later. Why he could have brought this up.
No.
He wants to boast about his junior cert results.
Oh, I certainly don't. I botched the junior cert.
Oh, really?
Big time.
Nerves get to you.
You know,
day one in TV3.
You know the way all your mates said to you, listen. You know the way your mates said to you, I'm not studying. I took that as fact.
Me too.
It turned out they all were at the time. So 60,000 results for students, and there were 47 of the 60,000 who had 11 A grades for all subjects.
Wow.
Knocked it out of the park. 47.
Did I hear they've changed the way they grade them now? It's not necessarily like
Easier.
A's and B's. No, but like the actual names for the grades are different.
I hadn't heard that actually.
Maybe I'm making this up.
They've revamped the Leaving Cert in the last year or two, certainly. So like our points don't correlate now. It's like we are now the people who are like, oh, I remember the Inter Cert, and you're like, yeah, it's been the Junior Cert for about 10 years.
47 seems a little bit low, doesn't it? Out of 60,000. One of my super smart cousins got 12 A's in his Junior Cert, I remember.
Right.
What are they doing?
Took on 3 extra subjects and just studied them by himself.
No groins or no help from anyone?
I presume he must have.
Grinds.
No wonder you
I'm
failed.
sure he had groins.
Maybe not.
He had
Probably
not.
that was pretty difficult for me, obviously being about 5 years.
11 grade A's. Just 230 had 10. Just missed out on the one.
Oh, they're going to end up doing first arts.
Yeah, that's a sickener.
Like you did.
Exactly.
Well, I did arts too. What you do?
I did marketing.
It's hard to know which is the most useless of all those three.
None of them
How
really
we've all
is.
ended up here.
Like, it's hard to actually say which contributes less to society. There,
Kids, if you're listening, we are not an example to any of you.
My younger brother
Especially not Nathan.
is a very smart young man, and he got in his leaving. He was 590. He got A1s all the way except for an A2 in English.
I bet you it eats at them still, doesn't it?
He got it appealed.
What?
Oh, he sent it back in. He wasn't happy. He said, "Have another look at that for me." And unfortunately, he still didn't quite make it. But look, it's still a very impressive 590.
I came up with a genius stroke for the Leaving Cert, so I was quite good at accounting and business, and I decided I wanted to be an accountant. It was pretty much the only thing I was good at.
Think what could have been.
I know. Wow, the life I could have been leading. I wouldn't have got to go to Wolves Burnley on Sunday. Would have earned, a lot of money in a real job.
Yeah.
But anyways, here we are.
Yeah, you're
so I came up with a brilliant plan that I would get an A1 in accounting and business. Now look, you could get a scholarship to a course of your choice if you got the top score in the country in both.
And did you feel you had an aptitude in both? Did you feel like an A1 was a possibility?
Oh yeah, I got an A1 in accounting.
Okay.
So I went and I was wondering why I didn't get my scholarship. Nothing. No call, nothing.
Yeah.
Got a question wrong.
One question wrong.
One question wrong.
One
question. Accounting is very much you're either right or you're wrong.
See, I didn't do accounting. So when you say one question, I presume there's not like 3 questions on the exam. One out of how many?
One small little piece. So I got like 99%.
No, I understand the 99%. So how many questions might have been on the exam paper?
Oh, I can't remember now, but
10s,
it would have been a lot.
20, 30, that
At
kind of
least.
thing. You got one wrong and you were pipped.
I think I just got this thing into my head
That was your
to
sliding
convince
doors
myself
moment.
not to do any work on anything else. That if I just focused on the accounting.
That
What
your
was the
sliding door
scholarship
moment,
for?
I don't know, it's like DCU or something. Just would have meant that. Nice life,
Yeah, well, here you are now.
If that was the dream growing up in Mayo, maybe I'll get to do accounting at DCU.
Yeah, well, you're not going to be able to do that. So we should start our news round, which is brought to you this evening with Screwfix.ie, championing the trade, the choice of over 20,000 quality trade products. And there is unfortunate news surrounding Seamus Coleman. That's the word coming out, Richie?
It's feared the captain could miss the Republic of Ireland's back-to-back home games with Denmark and Wales next month in the Nations League. The team captain missed last night's 1-1 draw with Poland due to a stress fracture to his foot. Coleman was at the game last night, but is now facing a lengthy spell on the sidelines. Manager Martin O'Neill was asked by Sky's Guy Havard last night to summarise an eventful international week.
Naturally disappointed, obviously. Disappointed to be beaten by Wales. Disappointed, of course. And that hangs over for a while, and all sorts of things it seemed to magnify as well too. Tonight, I thought it was a really brilliant effort by the players. And do you know what? Now we'll set forward now for the 2 games next month. Obviously, big matches ahead. But tonight was great, and just disappointed that we didn't see it through.
And when you sit down to write your squad in October, is the dream that you'll have the likes of Arter, Rice, and maybe 1 or 2 of those injured players to call upon? That would be nice. That would, in an ideal world, that would be really terrific. And I think that we would be hoping if that's the case. It may not be, and I'm not so sure the last time that we had a full squad to pick from. The guy, I think we're ready to go. Confidence there in the dressing room restored, which is great. Now ready for the games.
Certainly a night that calmed everything down a little bit for Martin O'Neill. If things had gone horribly wrong, he would have had to walk in and field questions about whether or not the team had down tools, or was the whole thing fractured or just broken irretrievably given everything. Whereas given the performance, which I think was pretty good, and the result, which was fine as well, he was able to walk in and say, everyone calm down, things are fine here.
Yeah, but with this Irish team, it feels we're only a couple of days away from further fuel being thrown.
Stephen Ward talking to his mates?
Well, this nonsense of confidence has been restored. They took the mother of all beatings over in Cardiff, and they've had a 1-1 draw in what was the most friendly of friendly games.
Poland were playing in second gear.
We've seen more than ever now, it's been exacerbated by the Nations League, where even if it's only 10 or 20% quicker, it was a totally different game in Wales to what we saw last night. And I didn't think the performance was that great, considering how off Poland were. Right from the first minute, we had the same problem. Ball comes to Cyrus Christie. 10 yards inside him, Jeff Hendrick standing there. All right, there's 2 Polish players somewhat near him. But Hendrick can turn towards goal. What does Christie do? Turns back, gives it to John Egan, who hoofs it 50 yards forward, and it goes out of play. There were little patches here and there, but that team is never going to be on the pitch again. No. So, yeah, it calmed things down a little bit. But for how long?
Yeah, so we'll have to see where it all goes. What a strange week. Dan McDonald was covering it at the coalface all week, so we'll get his thoughts and reflections on it. He also wrote a very good piece about the wider implications for Irish football. You know, the board, I think 6 of the 10-man board who decided not to renew Brian Kerr's contract are still very much there. This, when John Delaney was talking recently about how great it was at UEFA to have fresh voices in and new thinking in the last number of years, and it's been great. And Dan was kind of comparing the two and saying, well, how brilliant has it been since the Brian Kerr era to now in a whole range of areas. So we'll talk to Dan on the football show. Where we go next?
The Footballer of the Year for 2018 is a Dublin player, but his identity won't be known until November the 2nd. Brian Fenton, Kieran Kilkenny and Jack McCaffrey all made the shortlist this morning. No Dublin player has won the award since McCaffrey did just that back in 2015. Another dub in the form of Brian Howard makes the young player shortlist, and he's joined by Kerry forward David Clifford and Tyrone defender Michael McKernan. 12 Dublin players in all are among the 45 nominees for the PwC All-Star Team of the Year. Tyrone received 7 nods, as do All-Ireland semi-finalists Monaghan and Galway. The hurling shortlists will be made known tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Do you want to give us Nathan Murphy's Footballer of the Year 2018?
Oh, this is one of the toughest ones, isn't it? This seems like one of the toughest selections for Footballer of the Year. I like Jack McCaffrey. I kind of go with James Horan's line of when Dublin needed electricity, he was electric. That when it was tough, that's when he really stood up. But maybe that's just the position he plays in, and Fenton and Kilkenny make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Everything they do just seems to come so naturally. And like Kilkenny took his game on to another level from last year, where it was all about recycling the ball. This time he just kept things simpler. And then you Fenton, who you just love to watch every single time. Again, I do just wonder, maybe because of McCaffrey's position, where it looks like he's really
slightly more dynamic,
that maybe that'll give him the edge.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I just have a soft spot for Jack McCaffrey. I think he's emerging into my favourite player to watch. Even the Galway game was just outrageous. It was an outrageous performance. Welcome back, Nathan. I missed you. How's the new member of the family, says Elizabeth and Rainey.
Great, wonderful.
With an X. I met Nathan Murphy yesterday. He helped me cross the road, says Betty, who's 88 from Mullingar.
True.
Such a kind man. Handsome to boot, she says. Is that actually true?
That is, yeah. I heard there was a damsel in distress, and I drove down to Mullingar just to help Betty.
And you said make sure to text in and tell the lads that.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's completely not true then.
I don't know if Betty would be texting in, Joe. At 88.
Well, that's ageist from you.
You're totally
absolutely
right.
Ageist. Ronan O'Gara was on
Yeah, he says
our screens today.
He says his induction to the World Rugby Hall of Fame is an overpowering experience. The former Munster and Ireland out half today became the 12th Irish player to be inducted. Joining him today are Wallabies legend Stephen Larkham, Pierre Villepreux of France, former All Black Brian Williams, and Wales Lisa Burgess. O'Gara says Hall of Fame recognition is hugely humbling. Well, interesting news this evening.
They do it in the town of Rugby as well.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a big, obviously, a rugby museum, and the Hall of Fame is a big exhibition you can go to. It's quite strange. You can understand why they have it there, but rugby is not your normal tourist destination. You would think if they had it in the middle of London, you would open it up to far more people.
It's between Coventry and Northampton, or for those of you who have even worse geography than me, it's
near Birmingham.
45 minutes east of Birmingham. That's where rugby is. And I don't know what the privileges are. Can you graze your sheep there for eternity or what's
It's like having the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. Why Cleveland?
Is that where
they needed something?
Is that where the Rock and
Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland? And not New York or LA.
Is it supposed to be good?
Not Detroit. Yeah,
Why don't we have a Hall of Fame?
For what?
I'm glad that Ronan O'Gara really took this to heart and felt it was this incredible experience, because in American sport, like, the Hall of Fame is everything. When we're watching golf, it's constantly this is a Hall of Fame career. Whereas it's not something in Ireland or England for some reason.
Are we too cynical as a nation for that kind of business?
I think
there's a GAA Hall of Fame started recently, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
And there are inductees every year. Now, it's relatively recent.
But even the notion of, the All-Stars thing is kind of kept to you, and that's kind of your judgment of how good a player is.
That's notions, Hall of Fame.
Look, the Hall of Fame thing is generally a Tuesday in Croke Park, and the media are brought out, and two players from the 70s are honoured.
It's not a big
deal. It's not the convention centre, almost a testimonial type feel where you have 1,000 people and it's live on television and everybody comes and tells stories and reflects.
Do you know what? It's a great point. There's a gap in the market for it. If you could somehow get rights to it, and then I think at this stage you'd have to do an initial induction of maybe 20. Really go for the star names, get them in, and then go from there every year.
I can think of 8 Mayo lads that we get in there straight away.
Yeah. No, it's a fair point. Because even, we were just talking the other day, not to make everything around golf, but Sergio Garcia's wife, her father's in the Texas Hall of Fame. He's not in the big, he's an American footballer, but he's made Texas, which again is no small feat. Texas is about 7 or 8 times bigger than Ireland, but he's not in the actual Hall of Fame. But even if each American state has a Hall ofAme, then surely we should.
We should have a Gaelic Games Hall of Fame.
Just an Irish sporting Hall of Fame.
Now you say Texas has one, I presume Cork has one.
A wall where they put people's pictures. Could be onto something, Joe.
Okay. Trademark, done.
Yeah. A member of Russia's World Cup squad is the subject of an anti-doping investigation. Spanish anti-doping authorities are looking into claims that Denis Cheryshev used human growth hormone treatment before the tournament. He scored 4 times for the hosts at this summer's World Cup, and his father made the claims that the 27-year-old had received the treatment while at Villarreal. But his father later said he was misquoted. If found guilty, Cheryshev could face a 4-year ban.
Just to say, this week we've got a brilliant competition. We have teamed up with Virgin Media Sport, the new home of European football in Ireland. Their coverage kicks off on the 18th of September. And to celebrate, each night this week we're giving away a €50 one-for-all voucher, which is no bad thing. But maybe more importantly, you'll go into the draw to win a trip for 2 to Old Trafford on Tuesday, 23rd of October, to watch Manchester United against Juve, and we'll also throw in €400 spending money. So, to be with a chance of winning, just identify our Champions League mystery voice, who says it's to be expected that Nathan Murphy might be a touch rusty on air after his prolonged paternity break.
Yes, it breaks the rhythm. That's normal.
I think he's very rusty, personally.
Yes, it breaks the rhythm. That's normal.
Nathan's all about the rhythm.
Guess who brought that up? Guess who wrote that? Mystery voice.
Where is JP?
Text your name and answer 53106 for 30 cents, and we'll announce the winner later on the show. Bear in mind, you must be able to travel from Dublin on the morning of Tuesday 23rd, the morning of the game, and then return on the 24th, the next morning. All with thanks to Virgin Media Sport, exclusive to all Virgin Media TV customers now, at more than 400 UEFA Champions League, Europa League and Nations League games live this season. Is anyone there going to watch all 400?
You can't. They're all at the same time, Joe.
No, but then they'll be repeating them in the days afterwards.
It's
on their sports station.
It's doable. I mean, there were people out there who watched every minute of the World Cup. Why not watch all 400 games on Virgin Media Sport?
If you're a real football man.
An achievement.
People have lives.
Proper football man.
This is
Proper
why you failed to
do
do junior certs. Watching too much football.
Watching Euro goals.
It's the type of thing now, if you had a relaxing Monday off, you might just switch it on and catch up on Young Boys of Bern.
Yeah.
You down for commentary on one there?
Possibly, Richie.
What was your opening commentary?
Ukraine, Slovakia, behind closed doors.
So are you going to be doing the big one? You're going to be getting the big ones,
actually thought, I was talking to down in the Slovak coffee shop that I like to go to.
Yes.
I was discussing the barista is from Ukraine, and I was telling him I was doing the game. I was like, yeah, scored a strong. He's like, no, it was 1-0. I was like, yes, you're correct. It was 1-0. I do remember the penalty kick.
That's the professionalism Nathan Murphy will bring to any job.
Yarmolenko penalty. Great game.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be on repeat soon.
So where are we going next?
Storms in Plovdiv forced the cancellation of around a third of today's races at the World Rowing Championships. But before all boats were called ashore, Paul and Gary O'Donovan secured their place in the AB semi-finals of the lightweight men's double sculls by winning their quarter-final, and they will return for the semis tomorrow. The men's quad of Andrew Goff, Fintan McCarthy, Ryan Ballantyne, Jake McCarthy moved through to their final by finishing second in the repechage. Aileen Crowley and Monica Dukarska's championships are over though after they finished fifth in the repechage of the women's double. Two Irish crews have to wait for their races, with Mark O'Donovan and Shane O'Driscoll set to race in the heavyweight pairs quarter-final. Ronan Byrne and Philip Doyle are also left waiting to go on the repechage of the men's double.
John and Shakur, if Nathan got one wrong and got 99%, then there were 100 questions. I'm not questioning the validity of his story, says John. Well, to be fair, you never said you got 99%. You still got an A1. Was an A1 90 to 100?
Plus, I think.
90 to 100, yeah.
And 85 to 90 was an A2. And you worked your way down then in fives. That was how it worked. So to be fair, you can get an A1 and not get 99%. For all we know, you got 91%. It was a cheap A1.
No, it wasn't. I remember looking
an average
it.
A1.
You had to pay like 40 quid. I should have just accepted it.
Did you pay? Yeah.
You have to. I think to look back over your results, you have to pay.
Pay a bit extra and you get the
extra,
actual bump up.
Because you were that intent on getting the scholarship.
That was all I had.
Okay.
That's all I'd left.
Where did you go to college?
Galway.
Right.
Do you think like the guy who got the scholarship is sitting there reminiscing about what he got in his junior and his leave cert tonight?
No, I'd say he's on 200 grand a year and his feet up thinking
he's checking his pension.
Been easy.
Woo-hoo.
What's a pension?
Yeah, well, so
the Noel Meade trained Snow Falcon won the Kerry National at Listowel this afternoon, but only following a steward inquiry. The 6-1 shot beat the Willie Mullins trained Saturnus by a nose. 7-2 favourite Rogue Angel was third for trainer Gordon Elliott. Meade says they put the work in to ensure Snow Falcon made amends for his fourth place finish in the Galway Plate.
We knew that there'd be plenty of pace, and that was the plan, to just sit in where he sat, and he rode him exactly the way we planned, except maybe went on a little bit earlier than I expected. But he said he didn't want to stay with Rogue Angel and help him along. He wanted to pass him and put him to bed more or less, and everything went well. But he trained very well since Galway.
Sorry, go on.
Well, I was just half thinking there, is accountancy as boring as the reputation always suggests? I know a few accountants and they quite like their jobs.
Does it bloody matter with the money you're on?
See, they walk out the door at 5 o'clock. They enjoy their evenings.
Yeah.
They go out for a few drinks after work on a Friday.
Drinks that they can afford.
Sorry, hang on.
Comfortably.
Accountants do massive errors, don't they? Especially at the start.
Certain time of the year.
Yeah.
But like generally, you're just on way more cash than we are.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
I think it's more that it's a very strict. The better you are, the more qualifications you get.
Yeah, my sister
the more
is
you earn.
So she,
Yeah.
But you've a constant. Like the thing about you getting a scholarship, you've a constant trail of exams to keep doing.
Yeah.
While you're in your job.
No job's easy, Richie.
No.
To be fair. But I just, people say name a boring job and everyone's go-to is accountancy. But I'm just wondering, is it actually? Like, what is the most boring job?
Text in.
53106. It's asking for text like that, maybe.
Hashtag accidental partridge. What is the most boring job?
So, Hugo Lloris next, is it?
No, it's Carlos Ramos, because a la carte arbitration does not exist according to US Open Women's final umpire Carlos Ramos. The Portuguese official was at the receiving end of an outburst from Serena Williams in the second set of her defeat to Naomi Osaka on Saturday. Ramos was called a thief and a liar by Williams after imposing a game penalty on the 23-time Grand Slam champion. He was escorted off court at the end of the match, was not part of the trophy presentation. Ramos describes the situation as delicate, and he will be back in the umpire's chair for this weekend's Davis Cup meeting of Croatia and the USA. Osaka's been doing the Chacho rounds in the States following her win, and she told Ellen DeGeneres what Williams said to her at the boo-laden trophy presentation.
No, she said that she was proud of me and that I should know that the crowd wasn't booing at me. So I was really happy that she said that.
But you knew the crowd wasn't booing at you, right? They were just booing the whole situation, that it was just, right? Did you think they were booing you?
No, at the time I did kind of think they were booing at me. Because I couldn't tell what was going on because it was just so loud in there.
Right.
So it was a little bit stressful.
Well, that's terrible. I just presumed she would have known they were booing the situation, not her.
But by booing the situation, were they?
They're by extent booing her.
To some extent, yeah. But that really has ruined that first moment, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably hard not to think like that when, as you say, it's the first moment, you've just won a Grand Slam, you've dreamed about this your entire life.
You might just think this is the first time they're all really getting to know me. They just don't like me for some reason.
Did I do something wrong out there?
Yeah. We, not to speak for Richie, but I think we were both largely in the let's not imbue this tantrum with anything deeper. It was just a tantrum from someone who can behave like a spoiled brat quite often in her career. We had no sympathy for Serena Williams. Where are you on the whole thing?
Very much along similar lines, I think. She was totally out of line. She's obviously had to deal with a huge amount throughout her career, but on Saturday night, she massively overstepped the mark.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a Serena on Ellen interview yet. That we haven't.
Been very quiet. Since.
Maybe it'll be an ad.
Yeah, no doubt. Where are we going next?
As you mentioned, Hugo Lloris, his lawyer says the footballer suffered a spectacular fall from grace after he admitted drink driving. He's been banned from the road and fined £50,000. The Tottenham and France keeper was caught in central London around a month after he won the World Cup. Officers spotted him going at just 15 miles an hour in a 30 zone. Somewhat drawing attention to himself there.
Has he suffered a spectacular fall from grace?
Why is his lawyer saying that?
He's still the Spurs captain.
As in to say it's punishment enough, so go easy on him.
He's had the shame of being on the front of all the newspapers, but it hasn't affected him, aside from, did he get a fine from Spurs for a couple of weeks? Lost 50 grand here.
He's okay.
Life goes on for him. He'll have a personal chauffeur.
It's not as if he missed out on a scholarship to accountancy.
John Terry's not going to Russia now?
He's not. The former Chelsea captain has turned down a move to Spartak Moscow after it looked like he was pretty poised to head to the Russian capital after leaving Aston Villa at the end of last season. But he says that after considerable thought, he's declined a contract offer from the Russian side. Oh, God. The biggest shake-up to the rules of golf in over 60 years.
Wait, what? Yes. Take your time with this.
I thought this was why I was here tonight. I brought all my notes and everything.
Okay, we'll start that again.
The biggest shake-up to the rules of golf
come on.
in over 60 years has been published today. A new rulebook for 2019 and beyond has been published with the changes to the game aimed at making it quicker and more enjoyable. Among them are free and penalty drops being made from knee rather than shoulder height, the flag no longer needing to be removed from the hole for putts on the green, caddies not allowed to line up players before they hit shots, and no penalty for an accidental double hit. The RNA's Director of Governance, what a great title, David Rickman, says that more than 30,000 pieces of feedback were taken on board before making the alterations.
I know you don't give a damn and you're relentlessly against this sport, but actually it's the most played sport in the country according to a recent ESRI study on this. So for the over 200,000 people that this does affect, I might just take 20 seconds to get Nathan's thoughts on it. Is that okay?
People listen to Coldplay and vote for the Nazis, Joe. You can't trust people, according to Superhands.
Wow.
So I mean, the flag not having to be removed from the hole for putts on the green is a great one for me. I find that a bloody nuisance, especially like tap-ins or so many putts. There's no need for it. It slows everything down, and that's brilliant. I'm delighted they brought that.
Well, from both tap-ins and if you're 50 feet away and you're never going to hold it in the first place,
and
you have to walk all the way over. Yeah. Do you want me to take it out? Do you want me to take it out?
Yeah.
Just wasting more and more time.
That's a no-brainer.
Again, shoulder height, knee height, just speeds it up a little bit quicker.
For the drops. So exactly. You can now take your drops from the knee.
Which means the ball is more than likely
going to stick. As opposed to the shoulder one, yeah.
They've launched a players' edition of the rules of golf with all these changes, with diagrams and illustrations.
God almighty.
So pictures to explain it all.
I don't think it's necessary.
Well.
Oh, for the full booklet? Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I thought you just meant for these changes.
I think for the entire thing.
Okay.
Just to try and make it a little bit clearer.
What's the other, what other rule would you change?
What rule would I change?
That's
a great question.
We've got time. Cancel Eddie Brennan.
Well, they've also got rid of the penalty for a double hit. Yeah. Now, if they were to allow that on the tee,
said that there,
I'd be a lot happier. Just in case I accidentally stumped the ground first and then slightly hit the ball.
Just be better.
And whack it again.
Just be better at golf, mate.
I would love to be better at golf.
It's easier said than done.
But that obviously is more so for the professional tournaments, where they accidentally tap the ball when they're taking their putt. What rule would I change?
Yeah.
Accidentally grounding the club in the bunker?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it just happens.
It does, yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Sometimes you might just nick the tiniest grain of sand.
Nowhere near the ball.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
I know nothing's jumping to mind. I haven't really given it much thought.
It's just such a great game. It doesn't really need any changing
at all.
Almost
perfect, frankly. Sometimes I think for amateurs, so on the tee, if you knock it out of bounds and then you're hitting your third off the tee, I think that's almost too punitive because it slows the game down. So lads might they hit their tee shot and they think they're in trouble and they spend forever searching for the bloody thing because they don't want to hit 3 off the tee. Sometimes I think just being allowed to hit 2 off the tee would speed everything up.
So you want a mulligan of sorts?
Sort of, for amateurs. But then amateurs like playing the same sport as professionals. That's one of the great appeals of it, that you can go around Augusta or St Andrews in a fairly similar way to a pro. So
what about you, Richie?
Nothing jumps to mind.
I now really realise I wish I studied harder in my leaving.
Well, you didn't. No job is easy. I don't know, lads. I'd sure like to have a go as an off-the-ball presenter, says Drew in Cork. Well, more than welcome.
See going here in the left, right in front of it.
So last story or two then?
Simon Yates has had his 8 seconds even shaved off his lead in the Vuelta a España. Alejandro Valverde came home 15th in today's 17th stage and 28 seconds ahead of Yates on the day. Canadian Michael Woods won the stage, but while Yates will go into the final 4 days of the race with just a 25-second lead over Valverde. And
Text in, lads, delighted with the rule change over holding the flag. Nothing worse than having to hold a flag when you still have to take your putt and you know your mate's not going to make it from 40 feet.
Yeah, no point in holding it for no reason.
Like, amen to that.
It's all just wasting time.
Yeah.
It's all adding an extra 15, 20 minutes to your round.
Actually, that's, if I could, any rule that speeds it up, because I think the game is in trouble. It is just so hard now, even anyone our age, to get out with kids potentially, or family life and work.
5 hours.
You're literally saying we're going to be at least 4 to 4.5 on the course, especially if there's 4 balls. 4 balls should be gone. Sorry, that's my rule. That's the rule change. As fun as it is getting out with your mates for a 4-ball, I'm not outlawing that, but in competitions around the country, the days of 4 balls have to be gone. 3 balls is fine. 4 balls just takes forever. Too long.
Well, on every second hole, you're looking for somebody's ball.
Yeah. Especially with you.
I just usually go, give it up, lads.
Yeah, that's true. 3 balls. Yeah, 3 for competitions all over the country, 3 balls. None of it like.
And it means also the added benefit, Joe, you don't have to make small talk with 3 other people you don't know.
It's one less person making eye contact with me that I don't want.
It's the crux of the issue there, right there, isn't it? Joe Molloy doesn't like people.
Are you that? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm not. Move on.
Get ready for another snappily titled GAA ground, lads, for next season.
Go on.
You ready?
Yeah.
Leitrim have sold the naming rights to their Pork Sean McDermott at home, and they're going to make it even more streamlined and nice by calling it Avant-Garde Pork Sean McDermott from next year in Carrick-on-Shannon. The deal is to run for 3 seasons.
What do Avant-Garde do? Should I know that?
Consumer finance.
Right. Well, that's us pretty much done, is it?
If we were an accountant, we'd be laughing.
Oh, I should mention actually before we go, this Friday, very special show you might want to keep an ear on and you can go to as well. So the Longines Irish Champions Weekend is kicking off at Leopardstown and we're going to be live there with a brilliant lineup. So horse racing fan and owner Joe Schmidt is going to be there. We'll have Johnny Murtagh there. We'll have Dublin's John Small. Johnny Ward will be there. Ger and John Duggan as well. And so to win yourself a pair of tickets, tell us how many senior All-Irelands has John Small won? County, I presume, just.
Not nominated for an All-Star.
Was he not?
No.
Text stream and answer 53106 for 30 cents and good luck. We'll get in touch if you're the winner. For more details on the Longines Irish Champions Weekend, get on to goracing.ie. So that is our news round done for this evening. Do you want to stick around for Eddie Brennan? No? You gotta go?
Gotta go.
Okay, no problem. The news round was phenomenal this evening, Nathan. We thank you. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. We'll see you again in about 6 months.
I'll see you tomorrow for Golf Weekly.
Oh, God.
Well, obviously. We've got a lot to talk about.
You should just keep it to that. We don't need to go into it for like 10 minutes during the news round.
We've got Eddie Brennan next.
Off the ball on News Talk.
Thanks to Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products.
What I will be doing is